What's up, fish tube? Bearded Bob once again, taking you down from that 40-gallon breeder with the corys and the blue dream shrimp, and we're coming all the way down here to the floor tank. It's about 6 inches off the floor, or 8 inches off the floor. Not a very good place to put a tank, people, unless you really need that space for breeding. It's not fun to sit down on the floor all the time, especially being an old, grumpy man. Anyway, back to the tank. So in here we've got kind of a hodgepodge of stuff, leftover remnants from other tanks and community tanks from the past. And so we've got 3 remaining neon tetras. These guys are pretty good size. I was hoping to eventually, I've got this little tank up there set up with some Akadama substrate. That's a buffering substrate, so it should reduce that pH down. And I'm hoping in the near future here, after that tank finishes its cycle, that I can move these guys up to that tank for a couple of days and hopefully get some breeding activity out of them with lower pH. We also have 2 different corys in here. We have one peppered cory right there, and we have our helper kitty. Hey, meow. Alright, now go away. Try to do a video here, cat. And there's one bronze cory in here too. Yeah, but he seems, oh no, he's swimming towards the back or something there. No, that was the peppered cory. So 3 neon tetras, 2 different species of corys, and they're pretty healthy, pretty good size. And then I've had 1 male Bristlenose in here for a long time. I just finally got this cave about a week ago, and previous to that I picked up this female Bristlenose from Forest Lake Pets. Like I said, it's about 3 hours away from me, so not an easy transition, but we looked through all their tanks and we found one, you know, because it's pretty difficult when they're young to figure out if it's a male or a female Bristlenose. And I've had a bunch in the past that didn't make it from Petco, PetSmart, my local fish store, which local is an hour. None of those guys survived, spare this one male, and I have 1 other male albino Bristlenose in another tank. And he's been here for a long time. But anyways, put her in here. Got that cave in the mail. I bought this cave off Amazon, and she's giving us some eggs. So he's in there right now, sitting on a big pile of eggs in the back there. We can't see, but maybe I can turn on a light, and I just don't want to scare him and make him eat the eggs or anything, so we'll do it kind of quick. Oh, can you see them? Batch of eggs right up on the top there. And they've been in here for at least 4, maybe 5, 6 days, somewhere in there, that they've had the eggs in there. So hopefully soon we get them to hatch and they get some Bristlenose grow outs. I've got another tank cycling kind of on the floor over there, and that's going to be their grow out tank. I have a cycled sponge filter in here that I just need to pull out and move over to their to that tank, and in a couple weeks it should be close to ready to go. I've got the light on over there 24/7, trying to grow some algae and stuff for them. I also have, you know, a ton of canned green beans and stuff to feed them, and that's pretty much that. In here we've got a chunk of this Christmas moss. It's kind of ragtag and gross, but I was hoping putting it in there would maybe make these neon tetras want to spawn. I think the pH is just too high. Right now it's sitting at about 7.5. Before it was at 8.4, so I was hoping maybe that reduction in pH from tap water to now using the RO water dripping in. We got the little line going in there, a couple of drips per second. I was hoping that would cause some spawning behavior, just that drop in pH, but nothing so far that I can tell anyways. We've also got, you know, some bronze crypts, like I said, pretty much in every single tank. These ones are more of a green, as you can see, because they're getting shaded out by all this water wisteria. And I pulled out last night, like, I don't know, 7 pounds of duckweed out of the top of this aquarium, trying to get some water flowing again. I also cleaned the filter in the back on all my tanks that have hanging on the back filters, I've got a little intake sponge on it, and that helps pull some of the mold out really quickly. It also prevents any babies from getting sucked up into the filter, the internal parts, and it also makes it so I don't ever, I wouldn't say not ever, I have to change, or not change, I have to rinse the internal filters in there maybe twice a year, 3 times a year. But usually just rinsing this thing about once a week, so you can see it. Rinsing that thing about once a week does the job, and then water will start flowing really well again. And as you can see, the water's cleared up pretty great in here. I just sold a big clump of my water wisteria to a local guy, and he seems to be enjoying it so far. I got to get a lot of this is kind of overgrown and growing. It was growing from the back, so it kind of grew up and then it grew out. So I've had to do a lot of trimming on it and stuff, which I just, I'm not good at it. I'm lazy. It doesn't help. So anyways, I got to pull all this wisteria out, trim it all down, get it back to nice stalks and stems, and then replant it in the back there, and this will just be kind of a grow out for the water wisteria. The rest of the inhabitants in here, besides the Bristlenose, they'll just be staying in here. This is going to be their tank until they pass, and then after that time I'll repurpose it for something else. More than likely it's going to be another colony of shrimp, and I may just start throwing some fire reds into this tank just to get it going. Other plants, some Bacopa, and I think I covered pretty much everything else that was in here. There used to be some hygrophila, some green hygrophila. I'm not really sure of exactly which one it was, but it might still be in here. It might be tucked away in the back, or it might be growing through here. And I also want to get some of my Ludwigia red into this tank too, because I think that would do really well in here. But that's pretty much it in a gist. Not a whole ton going on in this tank. We do have the flow through water system on there, so a couple drips per second, and then we've got the overflow over there that drains down and into that pipe there, which goes over and gets pumped out to the sink. And yeah, it's pretty much just been a hodgepodge since day one. Originally it was holding the male guppy colony, the males that were coming out of that tank up there, and that's that. You can see the snail population is just insane in here too. That's why I don't want to try to grow out the Bristlenose in this tank, because then I'll be feeding it pretty heavily, and I don't really want to feed the colony of snails. I'd rather not have all these snails, but until I get a puffer, it's just gonna have to be part of my tank. With that, I think I'll leave this video as is, and we'll move on to the next one for the next video. I appreciate the watch. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that jazz. Dislike, whatever. Drop a comment down below, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Peace.